You know it's the LGBT agenda, right? Trying to turn everybody gay. They just really want to see the destruction of the black family. You know, homosexuality is a Western invention. Africans were not with that gay shit. It's an abomination unto God. Hide your kids, hide your wife. You know y'all sound crazy as Let's talk about it. All right. Been a long time coming. I know I'm gonna piss some people off with this one. I'm ready for it. I want all the smoke. Bring it on. Need to get into it, man. Way too much ignorance still prevalent in the black community, particularly the conscious community. We supposed to be the smart ones, remember? So we got to be held to a higher standard. We can't just keep saying the same dumb shit our sleep counterparts are saying. It's supposed to be different, but still carrying on a lot of the same nonsense that we brought over from church or the mosque or wherever we came from before we supposedly woke up. That's who I'm really speaking to on this video, is those of us who are supposedly free from religion, free from dogma, free from indoctrination, supposed to be free thinkers, right? Supposed to be intellectual. We're gonna see, we're gonna test this, because I don't really see a lot of that going on right now. A lot of I can't say that. I have seen a shift. There has been a slight shift in the way people talk and behave and deal with these topics. A lot of that is because of fear, though. A lot of people are scared of getting canceled, so they just keep what they feel to themselves, but they still feel the same, still think the same dumb shit they was thinking before. So we're gonna talk about it. I know it's a shame to all of my people who been moved past this. Shout out to y'all. Kudos to y'all. I think it is a shame that we still have to talk about this. I'm embarrassed for just talking about it. I'm embarrassed for just having these thoughts. Like, a lot of this stuff, these are recent revelations to me. Like, if I would have made a video about this 10 years ago, it would have been completely different than what it's about to be now. So there's been a lot of growth and development over here. I'm very proud of that. So good luck with anybody who's gonna try to make me feel bad or like I'm tripping somehow. Got your work cut out for you, because I spent way too much time thinking about this already. So we're about to get into it, man. This whole LGBTQ plus agenda, so-called agenda. That's what I really want to question, what the agenda is. I got a lot of questions. And I doubt that I'm going to get any good answers, but it's not going to stop me from talking about this shit. Ashe, cheers. Decided I'd have a frothy beverage in honor of my ancestors. You can see in the background who invented this shit. I don't do it often, so but yeah. What's the agenda, family? What I can tell seems to be destruction of the black family or the destruction of civilization as we know it, depending on who you're talking to. I'm still not really clear on what the goal of the agenda is. Every time I ask somebody, I never get a clear answer. And when they try to answer, they don't make much sense. Pardon us. So, gonna talk about it. We're gonna go step by step. First, I want to go back a little bit more into my history of this. Like I said, 10 years ago, I was right there with y'all. Completely against this shit. I just thought this was something we should be against as African, Afrocentric, conscious people, right? People who are about nation building, self sufficiency as a race, quote unquote. But I definitely was not with no homo activity of any kind. And I thought I had good reasons for that. I thought I was being completely rational and reasonable. But I came to find out that I had never really challenged my views on these things. Nobody had ever challenged my views on these things. Not for real. Like, I made videos where I said things that if somebody would have challenged me on them back then, I don't know what I would have said. 'Cause I didn't have no good responses for real. I had my feels, my feelings. I know what I thought and felt, but justifying those feels and thoughts, I don't know if I could have done that. And that's kind of the problem. That's why I was able to maintain these beliefs for so long because they just went unchallenged. Everybody else around me was agreeing with me. All y'all watching was agreeing with me. Didn't get no comments for the most part challenging nothing I said, except one comment that stuck with me for years, right? Until I finally dealt with this shit and started asking myself some real questions. And I really wish I could remember what video this was on or who made this comment because I would like to talk to this person and tell them that I was ignorant as fuck. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the context of the conversation was at all. I just know I was arguing with some gay man about being gay. And he hit me with something. 'Cause, okay, up until this point, right? I mean, even after this point, but at this point in my life, I was convinced that being gay was a choice. Not only a choice, but something that could happen to you, all right? Like somebody could turn you gay, like turn you out. Yeah, like somebody could make you gay. I don't know where I got that shit from, but I don't think I mean it's a common misconception, right? Think you can sprinkle fairy dust on you, and now you gay. I didn't have anything to fear. There was no chance that somebody could turn me gay, right? I didn't choose to be straight no more than people chose to be gay. That's the realization I've come to now. Back then, no, I didn't think that. I thought this was just your weird preference for whatever reason. And I don't know what reasons I thought back then that they had for making such a choice. But that's what I was confronted with. That question. For the first time in my life, a gay man asked me, why would I choose this? Like he started listing things that he had been through in his life, like that I had never even considered, which is crazy. 'Cause I think I was aware that these things happened, but for some reason, I just didn't make this connection that this was a terrible thing for a lot of people to have to go through. Like, I don't know what I thought being in the closet was, but when he asked me that and told me, "Why would I, you know, wanna be cut off by my family or ostracized by my community or, feel suicidal, be a suicidal teen or something," I don't know if he said any of these things. These are things that I'm aware that they go through now, right? In my ignorance, back then, I just never considered that. Like, why would somebody choose to make their life harder than it had to be? Like, this wasn't this is somebody who grew up in a time when this was not accepted. Like like most people, like, we just got to a place where it's almost cool in some circles to be gay. It still depend on where you at, who you talking to. So, yeah, I had no real response for that. That fucked me up. Like, why would you choose that? And I don't know, I probably said some dumb shit and went on about my day. I don't, but that never left me. It didn't change my whole position instantly, right? I went on for some years carrying on these false beliefs or beliefs I couldn't justify, whether it's true or not. If somebody can turn you gay, I haven't seen the evidence yet. It's like I haven't seen the evidence that you can turn somebody straight, right? You've tried that. Conversion therapy is a huge failure. So I got reason to believe it wouldn't work in reverse either. So yeah, that was the beginning though of the journey for me to change what I considered probably the biggest thing I've changed as far as in my life since I stopped believing in Jesus. Like, this is the most significant shift in my thinking in years. So it took a while, you know. It wasn't just an overnight thing. I had to just start asking myself some real questions. I don't know exactly when it happened, how long it took after that conversation, but felt like it took a few years before I just started, before I ever asked myself, why do I care? That was the question that changed it all right there. When I finally just asked myself, why do you care? You're not a Christian no more, right? Don't have these religious hangups. You don't think they're going to hell, not a sin. Can you even say it's immoral without those religious hangups? Things I had to ask myself. But what I was left with was nature, right? That's what I was standing on before. Probably what I was telling this person in the comments. I mean, in the comments that I was arguing with. That was really my stance at this point. I was not a Christian when I was arguing with him. I thought my stance was a natural one of nature, dealing with nature, until I was confronted with the fact that homosexuality, homosexual behavior is quite prevalent in nature. I was completely unaware of that. Like, if somebody would have told me that, I would have thought they were just full of shit. You lying, making that shit up. I ain't never seen it. I don't see animals doing this. I don't see. I'm watch plenty of nature shows. I don't see it. I didn't know no studies had been done on this. I didn't know people been talking about this for thousands of years. and observing this behavior in animals for thousands of years. Had no idea. But once I was confronted with that, I didn't have nowhere to go after that. Once I was confronted with the reality that this is animals are doing this, I was left with the hangups, the religious baggage. Like this just don't feel right to me. And yeah, once I asked myself, why do I care? I could not come up with a reason. Not a good one. How does this affect me and my life in any way? I had nothing, family. Those are the key questions. I ask people these questions all the time now. My favorite questions to ask people who are against homosexuality. Just explain to me what effect it's having on you. And so then now we get to the agenda, right? So you have to say it's not about me, it's about my children, right? It's affecting my children and our community, right? These poor little kids are being influenced by this gay agenda. They turning them gay. Back to the turning you gay shit. That begs the question: where's the evidence of that? Where's the evidence that first that it's possible to turn people gay, and then where's the evidence that if people turn gay, this would mean the destruction of anything, black families or society? But we need family. We need evidence. Otherwise, we just got a bunch of irrational fears. Without evidence, they are irrational. Have to be able to distinguish, or how are you able to distinguish between people becoming gay because it's the fad, or because they've been influenced to, and people coming out of the closet at a higher rate because it's becoming more socially acceptable? No, it's a tough one, right? It's a conundrum. You can't say. It makes perfect sense that if people feeling more comfortable about coming out and being gay, then more people would come out and be gay, and it would appear that there's more gay people around. It makes more sense than people being coerced into being gay or being influenced to be gay who had no attraction to the opposites of the same sex before. Like, come on, make that make sense. And when I ask people, well, what age did you choose to be straight? Start asking men when they chose to be straight. What age were you? Like, what influenced you to like women? Or women, what influenced you to like men, if you agree with that? I know there's a lot of women who agree with that too. But when were you turned straight? When did you, who made you attracted to the opposite sex? Just think for a minute. Like, obviously nobody did. It was a natural thing that happened. Nobody had to tell me it. I just know I was fucking flipping through the National Geographic book in school one day. I seen some unknown titties and something happened in my pants. That's what happened, family. It was men in that National Geographic magazine too. They didn't do it for me. I was shocked. I couldn't believe I seen naked women at school. I didn't think the teacher even knew that it was in there. So I knew I couldn't tell the teacher because I couldn't risk her moving taking the magazines out of the class. Became my new favorite subject. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that very well. All I know is I never felt that looking at no men. Just didn't happen. So this idea that this is a choice, what are y'all basing it on? Like if you're gonna stick with that, that's your position. If you just are adamant that these people chose to be gay, then you have to say you chose to be straight. There's, there's no way around that. I don't unless you got a way, I would love to hear it. Like I want to hear from all of y'all. Like imagine we're gonna do this quite a few times while we talk. We're going to imagine being in the minority sometimes. It's crazy that I have to talk to black people about doing this. Crazy that I have to talk to black people about any of this, really. Like I said, as a black man, brown person, melanated being, disenfranchised, marginalized person in America, like it's crazy that I didn't think of any of this before. Yeah, that's what makes it even sadder when it comes from us or any other marginalized group. But what was I saying? Yeah, we're gonna have to imagine being if your orientation was the minority, would that automatically make it wrong or bad? Just because the majority of people were telling you you should change it and there's something wrong with you? Would that automatically make it true? Think about that. Some of y'all probably say yes for whatever reason. That's not logical thinking. That's an argument from popularity. That's fallacious. Because most people agree on something that does not make it true or right. Now, if you say you care if people can choose it because you don't want people to choose it, that's going to get back into your destruction of black family or civilization argument. Now, let's get into that. Because one of our biggest misconceptions in this conscious community is that this is un-African activity, right? In fact, I seen a meme the other day that just magically disappeared from Facebook after I shared it and challenged it. But it said that homosexuality is a European invention, not our thing, not African, right? A lot of people share that sentiment. And that's something we have no evidence for whatsoever. In fact, we got evidence to the contrary. I want to share a little something from an article that I found. I'm going to put it on the screen so y'all can read it. And I'll put the link in the description as well. This came out a couple of years ago after the Supreme Court of Kenya affirmed the right of association for the queer community. So there was a lot of backlash behind this. So I'm not going to read all of it. Y'all can see different arguments were made. But the key points that I want to focus on said underpinning many of these arguments is a feeling that the queerness used here to describe the non-heteronormative sexualities, which involve physical, emotional, or sexual intimacy with a member of the same sex, is un-African. They argue that queerness is a Western import designed to destroy the African family unit. Heard that many times before, right? I'm sure nobody here is unfamiliar with that argument. But here they say, and this is an article from DEI, Democracy in Africa. DEA, pardon me. DIA. Shit. They said they challenge that idea that this is un-African. They say pre-colonial African societies, while not a monolith, engaged with queerness in different ways. Some rejected it, while others embraced their queer community members in varying degrees and contexts. Queerness, described in different terms and concepts throughout pre colonial Africa, is a historical fact. To argue that we should reject it in the present is to be ignorant of our history. In fact, and rather ironically, it is to accept a white and colonized version of history, one that ignores the extent to which our colonizers overwrote, mediated, and changed our history, the perception of our cultures, and what it means to be African. Therefore, let us deconstruct their argument. How was queerness understood in the past, and what are people trying to say when they denounce queer expressions in the present? And then it goes into what it means to be un-African. That there must be some essential and static African standard to aspire to when you say something is un-African. A standard that stands diametrically opposed to the Western moniker. Therefore, we must consider what it means to be African and un-African, who gets to define it, and the purpose for which that definition was rendered. I hope y'all are following this, man. It's very important. Philosopher Akili Mbembe argues what is called Africa is first and foremost a geographical accident. It is this accident that we subsequently invest with a multitude of significations, diverse imaginary contents, or even fantasies, which by force or repetition end up becoming authoritative narratives. This is to say, what constitutes Africanness is neither inherent nor static nor monolithic. In fact, the treatment of Africa as a monolith is a byproduct of Western discourse that did not bother to concern itself with the continent's vast socio political and cultural differences. As a result, it is incredibly ironic that we include values that were imposed upon us in our conceptualization of Africanness, rather than examine the ways in which these colonial impositions augmented pre-colonial nuances and realities. Such an examination reveals Africanness to be dynamic, encompassing the totality and diversity of the continent. The diversity renders it ridiculous to characterize queerness as un-African. Drop the fucking mic. I'm not reading no more of that. Like, that's said enough. You are actually being un-African when you try to make Africa a monolith. Try to say, oh, Africans weren't with this gay shit. We didn't participate in that. It's a European construct or invention. It's silliness. Can't speak for the whole continent throughout all of time. Like, we just don't even know. Like, part of the reason we don't know about homosexuality in a lot of ancient cultures is because they didn't talk about it like we do. It wasn't worth talking about. It would be like talking about heterosexuality. Like, it was just people having relationships. They didn't have these weird hangups where they had to have laws and debates and, you know, issues around this topic. So I don't know where we got this idea. Well, I do know. The only thing I can come up with is that we noticed, first of all, we're looking at how the present attitudes about homosexuality are in Africa and the Caribbean. They have these same strong views about homosexuality. So we look at that and say, oh, they outlawed homosexuality over here. They killed homosexuals over here. Well, what people seem to forget is that once you outlaw something, that means that it existed. There had to be something there before you could say, don't do that thing. Right? So that just Crushes the whole argument right there. Whether it was accepted or rejected, it was there. That's just like they said, you're just ignoring history. You're ignoring nature. Once you notice that this behavior is happening amongst other mammals, it just doesn't make any sense to doubt that it would happen. It would happen with humans at some point, to some degree. So this realization begs the question of the destruction of society and the family unit. Like, if we just let's just grant, for the sake of argument, that Africa never had homosexuality until Europeans brought it over there and invented it and gave it to them somehow. Well, we know that certain European places, Greece, Rome, right, had no problem whatsoever with homosexuality. So why didn't it destroy their civilizations? Their civilizations didn't. Rome and Greece didn't fall because of homosexuality. What's it taking it so long to destroy this civilization? If that's if that's all it takes, or how long? How many thousands of years does it take before the society collapses? You know what I'm saying, man, we have no empirical evidence to support that at all. Like, we got things we can point to that destroy the black family, but nobody's daddy got turned gay and left a mama, and that's what destroyed their family. Like, come on, man. That's not real. That's not reality. That's not what's happening in our communities. What are we talking about, man? Irrational fears. I don't have nothing to base these things on. Except your feels. You're scary. Think you got something? I'd love to hear it. Because I haven't seen anything to support none of these concerns people seem to have. Same people who poison their children, let them pump their head full of all kind of nonsense. Like, y'all are really so hypocritical, so concerned about this agenda. Don't give a fuck about McDonald's agenda, pharmaceutical agenda, the fucking junk food agenda. Shit is really killing us, really taking us out. Real threats to our community. Y'all don't care about that shit. These gays, the trends. And if we're gonna go with this agenda, if you think every time you see a gay image, see every time you see some gay people kissing on TV, this is part of the agenda to make you gay, then you have to also say that all these years when we was watching heterosexual people on TV kissing and having sex, that was also part of an agenda, right? And if you say that was part of an agenda too, then you're gonna have to explain, well, how do all these gay people still around? Why haven't they been turned straight by watching all these straight people on TV? Come on, man. The straight agenda has been going on and going way stronger than the gay agenda. Still way more straight images being pumped into on the media every day. Pumped to the masses, pardon me. Still seeing more straight people make out, have sex every day. So wouldn't it be evening out, or wouldn't the gay numbers be declining? Like, how was the gayness even able to exist if the straight agenda was working? Like, it's not possible that it's just diversity, right? Same reason why you might see more black people or more Asians or more Hispanic people, right? Are these agendas? Is there a black agenda? Are they trying to turn people black? Sounds stupid, right? Yeah, that sounds real silly. Come on, man. Just think for a minute. Something you've got full control over. Like, what do you, I don't even get it. What does it mean for your children to be affected by the shit on TV when you can control what's on TV? Like, if you really was worried about it, just go and get a bunch of download all the old shit from back in the day that you think was pumping the agenda that you support. Nah, you ain't gonna do that. You just want to have something to complain about, right? You rather do. You don't want to control what your children are actually watching. You don't want to take their phone away. It's ridiculous. And all you really have become are the same people who actually thought that there was an agenda back in the day when they were showing straight people having sex on TV. You the old Karens who used to write into the fucking TV stations and call the TV stations and complain about this indecency on TV. My children were watching and two people started having sex. Like, this ain't nothing new. People been complaining about the images on TV. Now because they ain't the images you like, you got a problem with it. It's foolishness, man. So what have we not addressed yet? The trans. Gotta get into that. The new threat. New issue. It ain't new at all. Like, I don't know how old some of y'all are, but I'm old enough to remember that these people been around. You might have called them different things at different times. They didn't just fucking magically appear years ago or whenever we started caring about them and talking about them all the time. Ain't no new phenomenon. Whether you think it's increasing because people are being influenced to become trans or not, like I said, you have no way of telling whether it's just becoming more acceptable or if it's actually mind control. We don't know. What difference does it make? How does it affect your life? Oh, because my children, I don't want my children to be trans. First of all, what percentage of the population are we even talking about? Like, that's first thing I like to bring to people's attention. We're talking about a percentage of the population that is so minuscule. Like, calling them a threat is ridiculous. Irrational fears. They're only a threat because we talking about them so much and giving them we got your focus on them, right? So it seems like a bigger problem than it is. But they're not new, and there's no evidence that they're gonna spread and take over. Like, this would have been this could have been happened when we were calling them transvestites. Could have took over. Like, there's no evidence of it. But my whole thing about trans people, because I do have to address something I did say years ago. I made a video and I couldn't even get my thoughts together. I kept trying to say a real woman is you know, female is what I was trying to say, the word female, but I kept saying a woman. A woman. But we really do need to understand where they're coming from and what they're talking about if you're gonna try to take some kind of issue with them. Just spouting a bunch of ignorant shit. Oh, there's only two genders. There's only you either a man or you a woman and all of this shit. Like, These things not getting us nowhere, man. Like, at least understand what their position is. Understand what they mean by sex and gender, or the difference between sex and gender. What do they mean by they feel like a man or a woman? What do people mean by social constructs? A lot of people don't even get that shit. Like, I happen to agree that they have a mental issue. Probably not the same one y'all think they got though, right? Because I'm informed about the topic. My problem is doesn't make sense to say you feel like something you've never been. Like, I don't even know if a man could describe what it feels like to be a man. Like, I don't even know what that would even mean. Because some other man might feel completely different than me. Like, yeah, I don't know if there's some universal man feeling that we all share. I think we've been taught certain shit we all supposed to do. We all supposed to think or behave a certain way. But yeah, who gives a fuck about that? Determines that. Like, I don't even get into all this real man, real woman, what a real man to do, real woman to do talk. Like, who determines what's real? Who's the standard of realness? There would have to be one. There have to be this real man that we pointing to that everybody else that came after met this standard. I don't know of such a thing. I do know that we don't have a clear definition of what man and woman is. You would have asked me 10 years ago, I probably would have just been talking about biology, what we're born with. That's what separates a man from a woman. Simple enough, right? Chromosomes, shit. I learned that those you got outliers when it comes to that. Everybody's not XX and XY. Got different combinations of these things. Got people with different genitalia. We got people, a lot of different people, man. Everything ain't just black and white like we would like it to be. We got cultures that have recognized more than one gender. No, a lot of people don't like that or are not aware of that. These are just facts. Facts that once you are confronted with, you got to deal with it, man. You can't just keep your same dumbass beliefs in the face of facts and evidence. Not if you claim to be rational. You just want to be a bigot, then go right ahead. If you want to be a rational, reasonable person, you got to think about it. You got to know these things and consider them and say, well, damn, what does that mean to my worldview, how I used to think? To me, these things changed a lot, the way I think. You lose a nut, you lose a testicle. Are you now less than a man? Less of a man? You now fucking 98% man? Your dick get cut off? Are you, what percentage of a man are you then? Are you not a man? Of course you're a man, right? Then your dick don't make you a man, right? What else? What is it? Nobody's gonna say once you chop off a part of somebody that they stop being what they are. So then biology's out. Can't say it's nothing about you physically that is an essential property of a man or woman. Now it's gotta be something else. No. You don't know what the fuck it is. I don't either, man. I had to stop arguing about that type of shit. Then I had to just say, why do I need to understand everything? People always saying that. I don't understand why they do that. I don't understand why I don't understand why they gotta, why you gotta understand everything? Like, ain't you? Not happening to you. It ain't your life. Why do you need to understand it? If you don't understand it, does that mean you got to treat this person bad? Must you mistreat them because you don't understand it? That's what it all boils down to me, right? How are we going to treat other human beings? That's what I had to come to the realization that no matter what I think about them, I got to treat them with respect, like I would want to be treated. I don't have any reason not to. They're not harming me in any way. I don't have any reason to take this as a personal attack against me or my family. I don't see how it hurts me. I don't see what all it does is not make me an asshole. Hmm. Just think about it. If you really think there's something wrong with these people, they mentally unstable or ill, why would you want to fuck with them more? What sense does that make? Oh, you say, oh, I don't want to feed into their delusion. Okay. Well, if you can't do that without being an asshole, what good is it? Like, do you think they're gonna stop doing what they're doing because you don't feed into their delusion? Are they gonna be like, "Oh, this guy refused to use my proper pronouns, so now I'm just gonna go back to being a man"? Not gonna work. All you doing is creating a cause. You're giving them something to fight against. The more you combat it, or you say, "Ah, I don't like that," they're like, "Oh, here, well, these are the people we have to stand against." Like you're giving them something to fight against. The more you focus on something, it expands. You're creating your own problem. That's something you want to think about. You're actually fighting against your own cause by creating an enemy, an adversary, giving them an op. That's all you're doing. Not stopping people from changing their gender. Can be more counterproductive than that. Oh, and I forgot to say one of the biggest epiphanies I had, pardon me, when it comes to this gay shit, and particularly gay men. This is probably the most brilliant thing that I came up with out of everything. How is it logical or rational for a straight man to discourage other men from being gay? Let's just say people can turn gay and they were being flipped at an alarming rate. Why would that bother me as a straight man who likes women? Why would I want more men to take the women? Whoa, man. More for me, right? What the fuck would I want more competition? How does that even make sense? Like when I thought of that shit, I was just like, wow, I can't believe I never thought of that. I gotta, if I ain't never thought of nothing, I should have thought of that. Like, it's in my best interest for as many men to fucking turn as possible. Mo for me. So, yeah, think about that one. You so smart, niggas. I ain't never consider that shit. I know I didn't. But you disagree. I don't support their lifestyle. I just don't support the lifestyle. So you don't really like women then. That's kind of gay. Say you want less men to be gay. For what? Like, seriously, man, think about that. More women will You looking for men, and gonna be a shortage of men, brothers. Might need you. Like think a little bit. Yeah, that one right there got me, man. No reason for straight men to be fucking against homosexuality. That's just stupid. Working against yourself. Okay, stop the presses. Few things I forgot to mention. First, we be clear. I said 10 years ago that I would have been saying some completely different things. True. I had a lot of weird homophobic thoughts and beliefs. Never, though, was I like violent or angry or aggressive towards gay people. That's important. Very important distinction. Yeah, I always thought them type of dudes was weird, right? I, like I said, I thought shit was contagious. That was crazy. But my solution was just avoidance. Just stay away from them. They never try to fight no gay people. Definitely didn't never would never try to delete one. And I know it's been times when I joined in, on some peer pressure type shit. Like it was expected. You were expected to be aggressive towards them sometimes. I remember being in situations feeling like I needed to do something or say something. Otherwise, niggas gonna think I like this shit. They gonna think I'm with the shit. Right? A lot of us got caught up in that. Like I said, my whole thing was based on my religious beliefs. Especially back then in the times I'm talking about. I was hanging with other dudes on the block and walking in neighborhoods and shit. It would happen every once in a while. You'd be out late night, weirdo might run up on you or flirt with you or something. But my response to that was never like, oh, we need to beat his ass. But I knew dudes that was like that. Yeah, I always thought that shit was kind of sus. It turns out, years later, after I woke up, found out there's actually some scientific evidence to support that. Not normal to be feeling aggressive and violent toward people who just got different lifestyle than you. I just want to make sure that's clear. Like when I said I was one of y'all, that ain't the one of y'all I'm talking about. Oh, and that's another thing I should have mentioned. That whole idea that they're predators out to get you. Like we saw this shit. It was crazy. Hitman Holler show, Bags and Bodies. They put J2 in the building. If y'all don't know who J2 is, if you don't keep up with battle rap, he's a openly gay battle rapper. One of the few, of course. There's a few though nowadays. I mean, like literally maybe three, but he's one of the most popular ones. And it was a big deal about who's going to have to sleep in the same room with J2. And we have this weird idea that if you're a gay man, then any man will do. Like nobody considered whether J2 would be attracted to who's in the room with him or he would actually like this person. That don't matter. It's a boy. We just feel like if a man, gay man is gonna try to get you. They don't have types and standards. Like crazy. Like where do we get that shit from? I was like that. Well, I used to think I couldn't have a gay friend. Wonder if I found out one of my friends were gay, oh, we can't be friends no more. 'Cause, well, I mean, he might try to get me. Can't trust him again. I can't just be around this dude. He gonna be trying to holler at me. Like, that's some wild shit. Like how we think somehow being a PDF is synonymous with being gay. Or where we get that from? Some people think being trans and being gay is synonymous. Y'all know it's some gay people who don't even really like trans people. Like, it's some gay people, men who don't have anal sex. It's some gay women who don't use dildos. All kind of shit out there we don't be knowing nothing about. We just lump everybody in the same category. PDF, gay, trans, all y'all all the same. Let your kids be around the gay people. What? You gay, you just like kids. It's all we got so much ignorant shit going on, man. Yeah, I did think those ignorant things. That's what I mean when I said I was there. I've been there. Had all these dumbass thoughts. No, I wasn't those guys. Guys you seeing on the screen that they talking about. But yeah, I want to keep this quick. Wanted to make sure I put that out there because you run across somebody like that who can't be reasoned with, somebody who claims to be enlightened or intelligent at all. You meet a man you can't reason with about this topic. He's just adamant. No, I ain't with none of that. I don't, no. I'm ready to go out and do something to him. Yeah, you better keep your eye on that nigga. All I got to tell you, ladies, beware that. And that's just a real man talking. That's just how real men feel. Okay. At your own risk. That's all I got to say. Don't say you ain't been told. You ain't been warned. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled program. I don't know what it means to say you don't support somebody's lifestyle, their sexual orientation. Saw a brother that I respect made that comment, and I'm never got around to asking him what that means. I really don't get it. Don't support it. Like, okay. Like, what does it mean to support somebody's sexual orientation? Who gives a fuck? Like, if somebody told you, I don't support your orientation, your lifestyle, you and your wife, or your husband, I don't support that. What would that mean to you? Nothing, right? Like, okay, you don't live here. You're not part of this relationship. Don't need your support. But nobody challenged him, right? People don't. He can go for years saying things like that to people, and they just be like, "Yeah, me neither, bro. I don't support that shit either." As if your lack of support somehow what decreases the numbers. What does it do? What does it mean? I don't know. I don't get it. But you gonna rally against it, march? I don't think y'all would do those things because that would be stupid, right? That would be useless. Just seemed like a nonsensical statement, really. Don't support the way you were born. Don't support your choice if you think it's a choice. I don't support your choice. Who gives a fuck? Who the fuck are you, random person? Like, it's just such a weird thing to say about somebody that you don't even know. I can see if this was your child, maybe you'd be like, "Oh, I don't support that. I'm not gonna support you. We're gonna cut you off." Like, that makes a little sense. People around the world living their lives, you don't support that? What the fuck are you talking about? So make these things make sense, family. Like, I put it out there. Damn, an hour. Yeah, a lot to cover. As I said years ago, I don't consider myself a LGBTQ plus advocate or activist. I consider myself a human rights activist, right? I would fight for the rights of all marginalized, disenfranchised people. Period. It's a sad thing. See children fucking committing suicide and running away from home because their parents think they can beat the gay out of them. It's insanity. But yeah, these are things that we need to talk about. Still see a lot of people talking about what what wouldn't happen in my house, what they wouldn't allow. Fine, yeah, you certain things you get to put your foot down on. Buying your children's clothes, they don't get to dress a certain way till they can pay for their own shit. I don't see how that's the same as demonizing who they are, creating an environment where they feel like they would rather die than be with you. I don't see how anybody as a parent would want that. I don't think that's anybody's intention, of course. Think you're helping, right? You think you're doing the right thing, but stories that we hear and the numbers that we see not reflecting that. Whole down low movement. All of these things are born out of this fear and secrecy that people have to live under. I'm saying we're creating the problems that we say we don't want. Think about the down low movement just for a second. Remember when that was big talk on the DL? Well, imagine if homosexuality was accepted at that time. Then there would have been a lot less people on the DL. It would have just been more gay men. And y'all would have been saying the same thing you're saying now, that people are becoming gay. But obviously, it was the societal and social pressure that kept these men from coming out. So once you remove that pressure, the DL-ness goes away. All right. Y'all should want that as women. Want more DL niggas? Think about it. Like that's what I'm saying. Y'all, you working against yourself by not being accepting, tolerant. Fucking shame. If teaching acceptance and tolerance is an agenda to you, melanated people. All niggas been doing for the past 400 years is trying to get accepted, trying to be accepted in this society. And you see another group doing that, and you say, "Oh, fuck them, send them off to fucking Homo Island. I want to live with them people, those people." There's another time for me to separate myself from the masses. Call me what you want. I already know. This is why the emperors didn't want me to do this. Because you can't have these conversations without some dumbass saying, "Oh, you supporting gay shit, you must be gay too." Hey man, I'm not even gonna dignify that shit with a response. Leave me alone with your wife for a little while. That's what you think. I'm fine with you thinking that. Go right ahead. I hope I covered it all. I got me a little checklist here. I haven't talked about all this stuff. I don't know if I went it. Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't talk about the religious people enough because I really wasn't trying to talk to them at all. But I know it's some listening, especially my Israelites brothers and sisters. Y'all are so strong against homosexuality, the abomination that it is. Well, if you're religious, Christian in particular, or any fucking variation of Christianity, then you don't believe in free will anyway. Whether you think you do or not, it's not part of your worldview. Everything happens according to God's will. The Israelites will even tell you that God gave these people up unto their vain delusions, or whatever. I think that's what the scriptures say. But not only do they not choose to be this way, they are forced and made this way by God. We can argue about free will if you want to. I don't think you're going to want to get into that with me. Just telling you that it's a logical conclusion of your view that you don't have free will. You have the illusion of choice. So it's silly to be telling people that they're in sin doing something when they couldn't do otherwise. And many Israelites will admit that they don't have free will. Even though some of them, their followers seem to be confused about that. The teachers seem to be in agreement that they don't have no free will. So it's silly for y'all to be talking about people's lifestyles as if they have an option. And even beyond that, I see I got my picture there. The so-called gay brothers. I know that's debatable whether or not this is a gay couple or two brothers or whatever. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Either way. Just using it to illustrate the point. Because the Israelites love to condemn the Egyptians for what they consider homosexual activity. A lot of stuff I think they just took out of context. They sound like little kids when they be out there reading it. Ooh, said the semen in the like, man, just need to grow up. But it's ridiculous for y'all to try to condemn anybody for being homosexuality when you believe they didn't get the law in the first place. They weren't under the law, so they can do what the fuck they want. What are you doing? Like trying to bring up every little gay thing you think you can find about Comedics or Egyptians. Like that's a cool little talking point when you're talking to somebody who ain't paying attention or don't know y'all's doctrine. But y'all don't believe the Egyptians were under the law. So they wouldn't be condemned for that behavior. Like, so why are you condemning them? Just stupid, inconsistent. Oh, I think I covered all of that, right? Oh yeah. Anybody got a good explanation of the goal of the agenda and some evidence to back it up? I'm all ears, man. I'd love to hear it. Like I said, I've spent a lot of time thinking about this now. Had quite a few conversations with people about it, and they pretty much all go the same way. People just either regurgitate some shit that they heard or thought they knew and end up being wrong. Or they just be saying a bunch of illogical, irrational shit about how they feel. And like I tell people this, none of this means you're gonna catch me at the local gay bar or with some trans woman on my arm. Don't mean none of that. Like I still have my personal feelings about things. Like I think it's gross to put your dick in anybody's ass. Like shit is shit. That's disgusting. So, a lot of you fucking shit eating doo-doo dick niggas walking around here thinking you all right because you put your dick in a girl's booty. Like, no, you just as disgusting. Actually, I think that's more disgusting because you had an option. You had choices and you decided to go the shitty route. At least gay men, they working with what they got. But yeah, ill. I can say ill to a lot of shit. But like I told my wife, I can't use the argument from ill. It's something being gross to me is not a reason for me to condemn other people from doing it. I think I could make a very good argument for why you shouldn't put your dick in somebody's ass, like for health reasons, sanitary. But there are practical reasons, not safe. But hey, there are people who will debate that. I don't, whatever, man. It don't affect me. Hopefully, I don't know. I do believe that kind of shit could affect you if it was people spreading disease somehow because of their sexual activities. Then that would be a conversation worth having. Or people are allowed to be straight. I mean, allowed to be gay without any problem. The less down low activity will happen, and you don't have to worry about these cross contaminations. Oh, and yeah, I don't have a problem with saying I got a preference, just like I prefer melanated women. I don't have to hate white women to not want to fuck with them. I don't want to fuck one. You know what I'm saying? They're cool over there. I'll be cordial to them when I see them or interact with them. I know how to treat people with respect. But not gonna find no European under my arm. In the same way I prefer women who were not altered in any way. I don't want to build a bitch. That's just my preference. I don't want no woman with fake tits and fake ass, fake hair and fake eyes and nails and lashes. I don't want none of that. Nothing wrong with that. You don't gotta be an asshole. Treat people with respect the way you want to be treated. Use your brain for a minute and not your feels. But yeah, marinate on that shit. Be healthy. Peace.